I sat beside Amelia in the cab, pretending the ride to the resort didn't already feel strange. She'd spent the whole flight texting someone she said was just work, yet she kept angling her phone away from me. I tried brushing it off, telling myself this vacation was a chance to fix things. But the pit in my stomach had been there for weeks. When we stepped into the resort lobby, I squeezed her hand. "Feels good to get away, right?" She smiled, small, forced. "Yeah, it does." Her eyes didn't match her words. We got to our room, and while I unpacked, I noticed she kept checking her reflection, adjusting her hair, applying lip gloss more than she ever did for me lately. "Big night," I joked, trying to lighten the mood. She hesitated. "It's just dinner, Noah. It's just dinner, right?" When we walked into the restaurant, I froze. There, sitting at a private corner table, smiling like he owned the world, was Ethan, my cousin. The cousin who'd always been weirdly close to Amelia. The cousin who, 3 years ago, hugged her a little too tightly at Christmas. I whispered, "Why is Ethan here?" She swallowed. I didn't want you to freak out. He said he was visiting the island too, so I thought it'd be nice to catch up. On our first night of a family vacation, I forced a smile as we approached. Ethan stood, grinning wide. "Noah, man, long time." He slapped my back like nothing was wrong. His eyes drifted to Amelia with a warmth that made my fists clench. We sat, and for the first 10 minutes, I watched them exchange glances they thought I didn't notice. Whispered tones, quick smiles. Inside jokes I wasn't part of. I cleared my throat. "So, Ethan, since when are you into tropical vacations?" He shrugged casually. "Since Amelia told me you two were coming." My chest tightened. "She told you?" Amelia shot him a look, panic, warning, something before turning to me. "I mentioned it months ago. I didn't think it mattered." "It didn't matter that you invited him." "I didn't invite him," she snapped. "I just told him where we'd be." "Well, that makes it better," I muttered. Ethan laughed softly. "No need to get tense, Noah. We're all family." I hated how he said family like he believed he had more right to her than I did. The waiter took our orders. And while he walked away, Amelia reached for her water. Ethan's hand brushed hers. She didn't pull away. She didn't pull away. My chair scraped loudly as I stood. "I'm getting some air." Amelia grabbed my arm. "Noah, please sit." I looked at her hand on my arm, then at the hand she'd let Ethan touch. "Why? So you two can keep pretending I'm invisible." Ethan's voice dropped. "You're overreacting." I leaned toward him. "Say that again?" Amelia stepped between us. "Both of you, stop." "Noah, it was an accident." "Really?" I said, "because it didn't look like one." Her voice cracked. "Please don't make a scene." It hurt more than anything. I was embarrassing her, but Ethan wasn't. I sat again, mostly because walking out would have felt like admitting defeat. We ate quietly, the tension thick enough to choke on. Every time Ethan asked Amelia something personal, her job, her new hobbies, the book she was reading, she lit up in ways she hadn't with me in months. When dessert arrived, she laughed at one of his jokes, a real laugh, one I hadn't heard in forever. I stared at her, and for a moment, she met my eyes. Something flickered, guilt, fear, maybe both. I whispered, "Do you still love me, Amelia?" Her lips parted, but no answer came. Instead, Ethan said softly, "Noah, man, don't do this here." That was it. I pushed back my chair. "Enjoy your dinner." Amelia stood. "Noah." I ignored her, walking out of the restaurant and into the humid night. The ocean roared in the distance, but all I heard was the echo of the truth I'd been avoiding. She didn't look at me the way she looked at him. And now I finally knew why. Wife wanted this vacation. It wasn't to save our marriage. It was to say goodbye. "I think you're going to love this place," Emily said as we stepped into the hotel lobby, her voice brighter than I'd heard in weeks. I watched her spin slowly, taking in the chandeliers, as if she'd been waiting for this exact moment. "Isn't it beautiful?" "It is," I said, though my eyes stayed on her more than the marble floors. "You seem extra happy," she laughed, the sound sharp but strangely hollow. It's a vacation, Noah. Aren't you supposed to be happy on vacations? Yeah, I replied. Just feels different. Before she could respond, a tall man in a Navy suit approached us. Welcome to Blue Horizon Resort. I'm Jonathan Reed, the manager. His polite smile shifted the moment he looked at Emily. Something in his posture straightened familiarity. Recognition? Maybe something more? Emily's smile froze. Hi, Mr. Reed, you've stayed with us before, I asked, trying to sound casual. She shook her head quickly. No, first time. But Jonathan was still staring at her like he knew exactly who she was. If you need anything, Mrs. Harper, don't hesitate to ask. I frowned. How did you reservation details? He said smoothly, though his eyes flicked to Emily again. We followed a bellboy toward the elevators. When the doors closed, I turned to her. Did something happen last time? With him? We've never met, she said to Fast. You're reading into things. Maybe. Out. Inside the room, she threw her bags on the bed and pulled out her phone almost instantly. I watched her thumbs move rapidly. Work? I asked. Yeah, she murmured, shifting the phone away from my line of sight. Just a few things I need to handle. On vacation? She forced a chuckle. Clients don't wait. My phone buzzed. A message from Liam, in your city for business. Crazy coincidence. Let's meet if you're free. I stared at the screen, confused. Liam's here. Emily froze, just for a moment. Her shoulders tensed before she turned around with a too wide smile. Really? That's surprising? You okay? I asked. Of course, she said, but she couldn't hide the crack in her voice. I mean, it's just Liam, yeah, just Liam. She moved past me, pretending to fix her hair in the mirror. I watched her reflection. Her eyes weren't on her hair. They were on the phone she held behind her back. So, I said slowly, you don't mind if I meet him? Why would I mind? She said without turning, do whatever you want. The tone stung more than I expected. That evening, while she got ready for dinner, her phone buzzed again. She snatched it before I could even glance. Work? I asked. She hesitated. Yeah, still work. You can put it down for one night. She shook her head. I really can't. During dinner, her smile never quite reached her eyes. She kept glancing at the entrance, at her phone, at the manager walking past like he was checking on us specifically. I tried asking about her day, about anything, but her answers came clipped, distracted. You sure everything's okay? I asked finally. I'm fine, she said. You're overthinking again. Maybe I was. Or maybe she was underthinking how obvious she was being. We went back to the room after eating. She claimed she had one last work call, so I took a shower, trying to ignore the coil of dread tightening inside me. When I came out, the lights were dimmed and she lay on her side of the bed, facing the wall. You done working? I asked MMH, am you tired? Yeah. I turned off the lamp and settled beside her. But her breathing wasn't steady. She wasn't asleep. Around midnight, heard her whispering, soft, careful, secretive. I kept my eyes closed, forcing my body to stay still. Her voice trembled on the edge of each syllable, like she didn't want me to hear the words meant for someone else. And in that moment, the truth hit me harder than anything she could have confessed aloud. Whatever was happening, she wasn't on this trip with me. She was here with her secrets. I felt completely alone tonight. Emily, you sure about this place? I asked as we stepped out of the elevator. The restaurant glowed with soft lights, way fancier than anywhere we normally went. She brushed her hair back, letting a wave fall over her shoulder. I wanted us to have a special night, she said. You don't mind dressing up once in a while, do you? I don't mind, I said, though I kept staring at her dress. It hugged her body a little too perfectly. You look different tonight? Different how? She asked, smiling without looking at me. Just different, I said, in a good way. She sprayed a perfume from a small bottle, something I hadn't smelled in months. Let's just enjoy tonight, she whispered. Inside the restaurant, a host led us to a corner table. Emily sat down, crossing her legs, checking her phone again. You waiting for someone? I asked. She flinched. It's nothing. Stop asking. My phone rang. "Mom, I need to take this," I said. "Be right back." She nodded too quickly, eyes dropping to her phone the moment I stood. I stepped just outside the restaurant door. "Hey, Mom," I said. "You sound tired," she replied. "Everything okay?" "Yeah," I lied. "Just a long day." "Well, don't let Emily push you around," she said. "Enjoy your trip." "Try," I muttered. "Talk later." And I turned back toward the restaurant. Something felt wrong. A tightness pulled at my chest. I walked in, scanning for our table. "Empty?" Double quotes Emily. I whispered, stepping farther inside. Then I saw her, not alone. She sat at a table near the back, where the lighting was soft, enough to hide things, but bright enough for me to see. Everything I wasn't supposed to, her. Hand was on top of someone else's. I stared at there. Fingers, her thumb brushing slowly over his skin, almost tender. My stomach twisted. The man lifted his head slightly, and when his face turned toward me, the world cracked. Liam, my cousin, my friend, my blood. "Emily," he said softly, "you always do that when you're nervous." She laughed, in a way she hadn't laughed with me in months. "I'm not nervous," she whispered. "I'm just happy you're here." He squeezed her hand. "You look beautiful tonight. I wanted to look good for you," she said. "For you, not for me." My breath stopped in my throat. The sound in the restaurant faded, forks, glasses, soft music hall, gone. My body felt like stone, locked to the floor. I tried to step forward, but my legs refused. Liam leaned closer to her. "You think he suspects anything?" "He doesn't suspect a thing," she said. "He never pays attention." Sharp pain stabbed through my chest. I did pay attention. I just trusted her. I trusted them both. He lifted her hand and kissed it. She smiled a soft, sweet smile. The kind I used to think belonged to me. Her eyes sparkled in the warm light, full of warmth and excitement. Emotions I hadn't seen in so long, and now I knew why. I felt something inside me break. I didn't shout. I didn't make a scene. I didn't even breathe. I just turned. My feet moved on their own. Slow but steady, carrying me out of that place before my voice cracked, before my heart made a sound, before either of them even knew I had seen everything outside. The air felt thin. I leaned against the wall, staring at nothing. Laughter floated from inside the restaurant. Their laughter, I walked away, letting their voices fade behind me. Each step heavier than the last, each breath colder. As if the person I was moments ago had died quietly in that room while the two people I loved most smiled at each other. My hands trembled as I kept walking, and I whispered to myself, "Don't break here. Not yet." I felt my heartbeat hammering like it wanted to escape my chest. I kept replaying their voices, their smiles, their touch. Each step felt sharp. I wished someone would stop me, ask if I was okay, pull me out of this nightmare. But no one did. I walked back to the hotel room without saying a word. My steps felt mechanical, like my body was moving while my mind stayed frozen in that restaurant. When I unlocked the door, the darkness inside felt warmer than my own chest. I sat on the edge of the bed and whispered to myself, what did I just see? But the room didn't offer any answer. I kept replaying the moment. Emily's perfume, her smile, and Liam's hand holding hers like it belonged there. I pressed my palms against my eyes, trying to stop the sting. "Don't fall apart now," I muttered. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. Then 40. Finally, the door clicked open. Emily stepped inside, forcing a soft smile. "Hey," she said quietly. I looked at her. "Hey." She placed her purse on the table and avoided looking at me. "Sorry I was late. I ran into Liam by accident." I let the lie drip into the room like acid. "By accident?" I asked gently. She nodded too quickly. "Yeah, he was, just around. I repeated, her throat bobbed. She kept her back slightly turned, pretending to rearrange things that didn't need touching. It wasn't planned. "We just talked for a bit." "Talked," I echoed. She finally faced me, but her eyes kept slipping away from mine. "Why are you looking at me like that?" "I'm just listening," I said. You seem nervous? I'm not nervous, she whispered, then forced a shaky laugh. You're imagining things. Am I asked. Because when someone lies, their voice usually shakes like yours is doing right now. Her lips tightened. I'm tired, okay? It's been a long day. I don't want to fight. Not fighting, I said, keeping my tone calm. I'm asking simple questions. She sat on the bed, but put distance between us. Why does it matter? I told you what happened. Matters, I said slowly, because I saw something tonight that didn't make sense. Her shoulders stiffened. What did you see? Nothing, I whispered. Apparently, she exhaled with relief, not realizing how much that breath cut into me. Good, she said, because everything is fine. Everything is fine. The words stabbed harder than any confession. I nodded. Right, everything is fine. She forced another smile. Let's just sleep. Please. Sure, I said softly. You go ahead. She climbed under the covers and turned her back to me. Within minutes, her breathing settled. I didn't know if she was asleep or pretending, but I didn't care. As soon as she went still, I stood and slipped into the bathroom. The moment the door clicked shut, my chest gave out. I covered my mouth with both hands to muffle the sound as the first tear fell. Then another, and another. I leaned over the sink whispering, why her? Why him? Why tonight? My whole body trembled. I felt like a piece of cracked glass trying to hold itself together. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I wiped my face and unlocked it. Ryan, you good? I typed back, no. He responded instantly. What happened? I swallowed hard and texted. I saw them together, holding hands. A few seconds passed before he replied. Emily and who? I hesitated, then typed, Liam. Ryan? Your cousin Liam? Me. Yeah. Ryan, damn, listen to me. Don't explode yet. Stay calm. You need proof before you confront anyone. If you go at them now, they'll twist everything. I stared at his message. Proof of something I didn't want to believe? Me. What should I do? Ryan, watch. Listen, collect everything. Don't let emotions blind you. Stay sharp. I leaned against the bathroom wall. Stay sharp, I whispered to myself. Right. My reflection in the mirror looked like someone I didn't recognize. Red, face pale, lips trembling. I splashed cold water on my cheeks and tried to control my breathing. When I stepped out of the bathroom, Emily shifted slightly, but didn't wake up. I sat on the chair near the window and kept my eyes on her. The room felt colder now. The silence pressed against my skin. I whispered, I loved you. I trusted you. But tonight I broke somewhere inside. The city lights outside flickered against the curtains. My mind felt heavy, but Ryan's words kept repeating themselves. Watch, listen, gather proof. I wasn't going to confront them yet. Not until I knew everything. Not until the truth was undeniable. Not until I understood how deep the betrayal ran. I leaned back, exhaled a shaky breath, and made myself a promise in the dark. From now on, I watch everything. For the first time in my marriage, I realized I had to protect myself from the woman lying beside me and from the cousin I once called brother. I woke before Emily, though. Calling it sleep felt wrong. My mind hadn't rested. Ryan's message echoed in my head. Stay sharp. When sunlight cut through the curtains, I forced myself to breathe steadily. A knock came at the door. Expecting housekeeping, I opened it to find Mr. Jonathan Reed, the manager. Wearing a polite smile, "Good morning," he said softly. "May I speak with you for a moment?" "Sure," I replied, stepping into the hallway. He lowered his voice. "I wanted to confirm whether your wife's cousin will be joining you again during your stay." My chest tightened. My wife's cousin? Yes, the gentleman she was with yesterday. Heat rose in my neck. What exactly did you see? He hesitated. I've seen them together before. This is not their first visit. My breath stumbled. Emily and Liam, he nodded. They stayed here a few months ago. Same habits. Same closeness, I whispered. Why are you telling me this? I assumed you knew, he said quietly. I apologize if this causes distress. I swallowed hard. Thank you for being honest. He bowed his head and walked away. I leaned against the wall, whispering. She was here with him, trying to steady myself. I went downstairs. Near the lobby, someone called my name, Michael. I turned to see Hannah Collins. Her relieved smile twisted the knife already in my chest. Hey, she said. Is Liam with you? He didn't call me last night. Guilt hit me instantly. No, I haven't seen him today. She frowned. Strange. He said he'd update me. I forced a stiff nod. Maybe he got distracted, she sighed. Probably. Still, tell him I'm looking for him. I will, I said, though the lie stung. Watching her walk away felt unbearable. She trusted him completely. I murmured, You deserve the truth more than anyone. When I returned to our room, Emily was on the bed pretending to scroll through her phone. She glanced up. Where did you go? Out. You should have told me. I raised a brow. Why? She shifted. I just wanted to know. You didn't care last night. She swallowed. I told you I ran into Liam by accident. I stepped closer. Have you been here before? Her voice wavered. Why ask that? Someone mentioned patterns. They're mistaken, even about who you were with. She stood abruptly. Stop interrogating me. You're lying. I'm not, she snapped, eyes darting away. Your voice says otherwise. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Michael, can we not fight? Then answer honestly. She looked at the floor. There's nothing to tell. I let silence press between us before saying, Emily, I know more than you think. She froze. And from now on, I added, I'm watching everything. She sat back down, hands trembling. I felt anger rise inside me, steady and fierce. And for the first time, I didn't try to bury it. She forced a shaky breath. This trip was supposed to help, and be honest, I said. She whispered, I'm not hiding anything. I sat on the bed. You stay out late. You guard your phone. I'm stressed, she murmured. Stressed enough to visit this hotel with Liam? She froze. Who told you that? So you did come here. She shook her head. No, someone's lying. You are, I said. Her eyes softened. I don't know what you want. The truth. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. I still love you, she said. Then prove it. She didn't answer. Her silence said everything. I walked to the window. Whatever happens next, you caused it. Behind me, she swallowed hard, but offered no explanation. It was the quiet that finally broke me. I sat there, waiting for her to say something, anything that could make the weight in my chest loosen. Emily, I said quietly. Look at me. She didn't. She kept staring at the floor. You can't fix something you won't face, I continued, and I'm done pretending. Her lips trembled, but still no words came. The silence grew thick, suffocating, wrapping around the room like a fog. In that moment, I realized I wasn't just angry. I was grieving the version of her I thought I knew. I woke up with Ryan's last message replaying in my head. Get proof. Don't confront them blind. His voice echoed through me like a command I couldn't ignore. When Emily pretended to sleep beside me, breathing too evenly, I knew she wasn't resting. She was waiting, watching, planning. When she sat up slowly and slipped her phone into her pocket, I whispered, Going somewhere? She flinched. Just getting water. 6 a.m? She whispered, Couldn't sleep. I nodded and let her think I believed her. The moment she stepped out, I grabbed my shoes and followed, staying far enough behind that she wouldn't hear me. My heart hammered in my throat. Outside the hotel, she pulled out her phone. Liam, I'm coming now, she whispered. The words stabbed through me. I recorded everything. She walked quickly down the street and into a small cafe. I stayed outside, leaning against a wall, pretending to scroll through my phone while my camera captured the moment she sat across from Liam. His grin was wide. Familiar, disgustingly casual. Morning. He said. She answered him softly. Liam leaned closer. Did he suspect anything? Emily laughed quietly. Michael, he's too soft. He doesn't see what's right in front of him. Those words slammed into me like a punch. I pressed my hand against the wall to steady myself. He's always been that way, Liam said. Always trusting. Always blind. Emily giggled. Makes it easier for us. I wanted to storm inside. I wanted to flip the table and scream, but Ryan's warning kept me frozen. I lifted my phone and recorded their words, every poisonous sentence dripping into my device like venom. Liam touched her hand. After this trip, we should talk about our future seriously. She nodded. I want that. I'm tired of pretending with him, my wife, my cousin. Planning a life together while using my heart as their playground. My hands shook so hard, almost dropped my phone. Then my phone vibrated. Ava, I answered with a whisper. Hey, what's going on? She asked. You sound strange. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. Michael, talk to me. My breath hitched. Ava, they're together. They've been together. Who? Emily and Liam. She inhaled sharply. Oh my God, where are you? Outside a cafe, I whispered, watching them laugh at me. Come back to the hotel. Don't stay there alone. I can't move. Yes, you can, she insisted. You're stronger than this. Her certainty broke me. They said, I'm soft, that I won't notice. You're not soft, she said. You're loyal. They're taking advantage of that. I wiped my face with my sleeve. I don't know what to do. You gather evidence, she said. And when you're ready, you end it on your terms. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. Okay? Call me if you feel like you're slipping. Promise me, I will. When I hung up, I took a deep breath and forced myself to keep recording. Every laugh, every touch, every lie. When they finally got up to leave, I stepped back into a side street and waited for them to pass. Emily brushed Liam's arm playfully, and he smirked like he'd already won. I followed them again, keeping distance. They stopped near a park bench, speaking softly. I recorded that too. Soon, Liam said. Soon, code. That single word felt like a blade. When they finally separated, I rushed back to the hotel before Emily returned. Inside the room, I locked the door and slid down to the floor. My phone felt heavy in my hands. I pressed play. Their voices filled the room, each sentence shattered. Something I didn't know was still intact. By the time the recordings ended, my whole body trembled. I pressed my forehead to my knees and whispered, I don't even know who I am to them. A cold wave hit me, as if my entire world was shifting under my feet. I was breaking inside. I walked up to the hotel rooftop with my phone in my hand and fire in my chest. The wind hit my face, cold and sharp, but not as cold as what I felt inside. When Emily stepped out of the elevator and saw me standing there, her eyes widened. Michael, why are you up here? She asked, her voice thin. You know why? I said. She shook her head quickly. No, I don't. You're scaring me. Before I could speak, the elevator doors opened again, and Liam walked out, adjusting his jacket like he owned the place. Why the hell did you text me to come up here? He said. I stared at both of them. I'm done pretending. What are you talking about? Emily whispered. You too, I said. The lies. The secret meetings. The cafe. The plans for your future. Emily's face drained of color. Michael, wait. Liam stepped forward. Look, man, whatever you think you heard, stop, I said. I heard everything. Emily swallowed hard. Everything. I held up my phone. Everything. Liam let out a short laugh, like he thought he could still control the situation. So what, you followed us around? That's pathetic. Pathetic. My voice cracked. You slept with my wife. Emily gasped. No, Michael. Listen, don't lie to me again, I said. Not tonight. She took a step closer. I wasn't going to tell you like this. I swear I wasn't. I was confused. Liam was. Stop using that word, I said. Confused people don't book hotel rooms behind my back. Liam raised his chin. She was unhappy. You never paid attention. I looked at him with a coldness I didn't know I had. You were my cousin, my friend. You sat in my home and acted like you cared. Michael, please, Emily whispered. Just let me explain. Explain what? I asked. How you laughed at me. How you told him I was too soft to notice. How you planned a future while using me like a doormat. Emily's lips trembled. I didn't mean it. You meant every word, I said. I have the recordings. Liam froze. His fake confidence cracked. Recordings? I tapped my phone. All of it. Emily's knees buckled, and she grabbed the railing. Michael, please don't do this. Don't throw away everything we had. We already threw it away. Liam stepped toward me angrily. Delete the recordings. No, I said. You don't get to tell me what to do anymore, clenched his jaw. You think your little phone is going to change anything? It already has. Before either of them could speak again, the rooftop door opened behind us. Hannah walked out. Her face was pale, confused, hopeful. Michael, you said Liam needed me urgently. What's going on? Emily covered her mouth. Liam's entire body stiffened. Hannah, he said quickly, go back downstairs. She frowned. Why? What's happening? I turned toward her. You deserve to know the truth, Liam snapped. Michael, don't you dare. I pressed play on my phone. Emily's voice echoed across the rooftop. I want that. I'm tired of pretending with him. Then Liam's voice followed. After this trip, we should talk about our future. Seriously. Hannah staggered back like someone had punched her. Liam, no, tell me this isn't real. Hannah, listen, you told me you loved me. She cried. Emily sobbed. Hannah, we never wanted you to find out this way. Hannah glared at her. You don't get to say my name. Liam tried to grab her arm, but she jerked away. Don't touch me, she said, her voice shaking. You disgust me. Emily sank to the ground. Michael, please, can we talk? Just you and me? No, I said. There is no you and me anymore. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. I was broken for days, I said quietly. But now? I'm done, Liam shouted. You think you're the victim? You think you're innocent? I know I'm not perfect, I said, but I never betrayed either of you. Hannah wiped her tears. Michael, let's go. You don't need to stand here with them. I nodded. My legs felt heavy, but my heart felt strangely clear. Emily screamed after me, Michael, wait, don't leave me. Liam yelled, you're ruining everything. But their voices faded behind me. I walked toward the elevator without looking back. I didn't need to. They were already drowning in their own betrayal. Back home, I felt the silence wrap around me like a heavy blanket, pressing on my chest with every breath. Margaret sat on the edge of the sofa, watching me carefully. You don't have to say anything, she murmured, but her eyes begged for some sign that I was still present. I rubbed my hands together and whispered, I'm trying, ma'am. I don't know where to start. She leaned closer. Start with whatever hurts the loudest. I let out a short, broken laugh. Everything hurts the same. She reached for my hand. You're still my boy. You'll get through this. I swallowed hard. I don't feel like anyone's boy right now. I feel like a ghost living in my own house. She sighed softly. Then let me stay with you until you feel alive again. I nodded because refusing her would have taken more strength than I had. Hours passed in quiet. Every time she tried to speak, I felt my throat tighten, so she simply stayed. The next morning, my phone buzzed. When I saw Hannah's name, I froze. I almost let it ring out, but guilt pushed my thumb to answer. Hi, I said, barely audible. Her voice trembled. I just wanted to say thank you for telling me the truth. I rubbed my forehead. I'm sorry it had to be like that, she inhaled shakily. I would have lived a lie if you hadn't called me. You didn't just save yourself, you saved me too. My eyes burned. I didn't feel like I saved anyone. She paused. Well, you did. And if you ever need to talk, I'm here. Thank you, I whispered, before ending the call, feeling a strange mix of relief and guilt settle in my chest. Later that day, I sat alone at the dining table, divorce papers glowing from my laptop screen. My fingers hovered over the touchpad. Margaret approached quietly. Are you sure? She asked. I nodded slowly. I can't stay married to someone who saw me as a joke. My voice cracked at the end. She placed a hand on my shoulder. Then file it. Let this be the first step toward healing. I clicked the button before I lost my courage. The screen confirmed the start of the process. My stomach twisted, but a small part of me felt lighter. At work, I tried to keep my head down. But Mr. Daniel Harper waved me into his office. "You look exhausted," he said gently. I forced a small smile. "It's been a rough week," he folded his arms. Rough is an understatement from what I heard. I stiffened. "Who told you?" He shook his head. "No one needed to. Pain like yours isn't exactly subtle." I exhaled, defeated. "I'm doing my best," he nodded, "which is why I want to offer you something." I met his eyes, confused. "A transfer," he continued. "A new branch. A new city. A clean slate." My heart thudded. "Why me?" He shrugged. "Because you work hard. And because staying here might keep reopening wounds you need to let close." I stared at the floor. A new city. Feels terrifying. He smiled slightly. "Sometimes the right things do." After a long moment, I whispered, "I'll take it." Something inside me finally felt like it shifted, just an inch, but enough to matter. He extended his hand. "Then welcome to your new beginning." I shook it, feeling the faintest spark of hope. That evening, I began packing. Every drawer felt like a memory waiting to sting me. I picked up the framed photo of Emily and me, hesitated, then flipped it face down. "Not anymore," I muttered. Margaret stood in the doorway. "Leaving already?" I nodded. "If I stay, I'll drown." She walked over and hugged me tightly. "Then go, love. Go and breathe again." As I zipped the suitcase, I whispered to myself, "This time, I'm choosing me." I stepped outside with my bags, feeling the cold air meet my skin like a quiet promise of freedom. Each step forward felt uncertain, but I walked anyway, choosing healing over heartbreak's shadow. I had grown used to the quiet in my new apartment. Months had passed since the rooftop confrontation, and every day felt a little less heavy. I woke up early, made coffee, and sat by the window overlooking the street below. Therapy helped me understand the pieces of myself I had ignored for years. Work kept me busy, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I was simply trying to breathe again. One evening as I was cleaning the kitchen, someone knocked on my door. I froze for a moment because hardly anyone visited me. When I opened the door and saw Emily standing there, my heartbeat didn't jump, didn't ache, didn't break. It just stayed steady. She looked exhausted. Her eyes were swollen, her hair was messy, and she was clutching her bag like it was the only thing keeping her upright. "Can I come in?" she whispered. I stepped aside silently and watched her enter. She looked around the apartment slowly, her voice trembling as she said, "It's nice. You always wanted a quiet place." I nodded. "I did." She sat on the edge of the couch, taking a shaky breath. "Liam left," she said suddenly. "He said he wasn't ready for anything. He blamed me for everything. He said I ruined his life." She stayed quiet. She wiped her face with her sleeve. "I lost the house. I lost friends. And I keep thinking about you." I leaned against the table and said nothing. "I made a mistake," she continued, her voice breaking. "A horrible, unforgivable mistake. And I know I hurt you more than anyone ever has. But I'm here because maybe we can try again. Maybe we can start over." Her words didn't cut. They didn't ignite anger. They didn't reopen wounds. Instead, they felt distant, like hearing an echo from a life that no longer belonged to me. "Emily," I said quietly, "I don't hate you." She looked up with hope flickering in her eyes. "But I don't love you anymore," I added, her breath caught. She blinked rapidly, tears gathering again. "You don't mean that? You're just hurt. You're still healing. I know you are. And I can help you. Please let me try." I shook my head gently. Healing didn't bring me back to you. It brought me back to myself. She covered her mouth and sobbed. "I thought you'd give me another chance. I thought you were still you." "I am still me," I said. "Just not the version of me who waited at the door for you." Not the version who explained your lies to himself until he believed them. Not the version who cried in silence so you wouldn't feel guilty. She whispered. So this is it? This is peace, I replied. She stood slowly, her legs trembling. I don't know where to go, she said. You'll figure it out, I told her gently. Just like I did, she walked toward the door, wiping her face again. Before leaving, she looked back at me. I really did love you once. I nodded. I believed that, but it wasn't enough. When the door closed behind her, I waited for something to break inside me. A crack, a sting, a ghost of the past. But nothing came. The silence felt warm, almost comforting. I walked to the window and looked at the streetlights flickering against the pavement. I took a slow breath, the kind that didn't hurt anymore, for the first time in years. I felt free. I stood there for several minutes, listening to the distant sounds of traffic and the hum of the city night. My reflection in the glass looked steadier than I remembered, like someone who had finally learned how to stand without leaning on shattered memories. I whispered to myself, this is who I am now. And for once. The words didn't feel like a reminder, they felt like a promise I was ready to keep. I turned away from the window and walked toward my room, feeling the weight lift from my shoulders with each step. I wasn't running anymore. I wasn't hiding. I was finally choosing myself. I woke up before my alarm, something that rarely happened in the past. The morning light slipped through the curtains, soft and warm. I sat up slowly and whispered to myself, I made it through. Saying it out loud felt strange but good. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. Another message from Emily, a long one. I didn't open it. Instead, I stared at the screen and said quietly, you're not part of my story anymore. My voice didn't shake this time. I walked into the kitchen and brewed coffee. As the steam rose, I found myself talking to the empty room. I'm different now. Better, maybe. But I'm not the man I used to be. The reminder felt grounding. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Ryan. Double quotes, yo, he said when I picked up. Morning, I replied. You sound calm. Did something happen? Nothing bad, I said. Just thinking about everything. Paused. You okay? I am, I told him. For the first time, I actually am. It's good, man, he said. You deserve that peace. I'm learning to believe it, I said softly. When we hung up, I stood at the counter and whispered, pain didn't kill me. It shaped me. I walked to the window and looked out at the quiet street below. Kids were heading to school, talking loudly and laughing. An old man walked his dog. A woman watered her plants on the balcony across from mine. Ordinary moments. Moments I used to rush past. Now they felt like reminders life keeps moving. Even when you think yours has stopped, my phone buzzed again. Emily's name flashed on the screen. I sighed and answered, what do you want? She hesitated. I need to say something. I don't need to hear it, I replied. It's important, she insisted. It's not, I said calmly. Not to me, she sniffed. So that's it? You're done? I was done the day I packed my bags, I said. I just didn't know it yet. I lost everything, she whispered. I lost myself, I answered. Now I'm getting me back. She went silent. Goodbye, Emily, I said. Take care of yourself. Please don't, I ended the call. I opened her latest message. A long paragraph of regret, apologies, promises, tears. I read none of it. I simply pressed delete. The screen went blank. It felt like closing a door that had been left open for far too long. I grabbed my jacket and stepped outside. The air felt cool, gentle, fresh. I whispered a new morning. As I walked down the street, people passed me, each lost in their own world. A woman bumped into me lightly. Oh, sorry, she said. It's all right, I replied with a small smile. She smiled back. Have a good day. You too, I said. Simple, normal, peaceful. I found myself thinking about a lesson the therapist told me weeks ago. I could still hear her voice. You survived something heavy, Ethan, she had said. I know, I answered. You didn't just survive, she added. You grew. Pain can destroy, but but it can also rebuild. At the time, I didn't believe her. Now, I whispered, "You were right." I walked toward my favorite cafe. The barista, Daniel, waved at me. "Morning, man," he said. "Morning," I replied. "You look different today." "Different how?" "Peaceful," he said. I smiled. "Feels strange, but good." He nodded. "Healing does that." I took my coffee and sat outside. The sun warmed my face. I leaned back and whispered, "This is mine. My life. My peace." I remembered the broken nights, the rooftop confrontation, the hotel hallway, the trembling hands holding evidence of betrayal. I remembered the bathroom floor where I cried into a towel so no one would hear. I remembered the moment I thought my world had ended, but now I could say it was the beginning. I took a slow sip. The warmth spread through me. "I'm stronger than I ever thought," I murmured. I didn't want revenge anymore. I didn't want her back. I didn't want answers. I wanted one thing: my future. I stood up, tossed my cup, and took a long breath. "Pain changed me," I said, "but I chose who I became." The sun felt brighter as I walked toward the street. "I choose myself," I whispered, and that was my silent revenge.